let's talk about why players drop in the rankings, but they're not actually dropping in terms of like the prospect status. Like, kind of explain that, I guess.
And it's a hard question. And one that I think a lot of players and parents ask, and I know that because we've gotten, emails and questions when we're out from parents about, hey, how do the rankings work? All this. Why does my son keep dropping? So I guess where I would start is when players are young, we try to keep the rankings extremely small. We know that at the younger levels, we haven't seen all the players in the state. Or even nearly, the amount of players we see at the older ages. So because of that, we keep the list small. The guys that we have seen that we have really good knowledge of, that we feel very confident about, we will put them in the smaller rankings list. And as a player gets older, whether it's Drew Locascio or Peter Hammett or Jimmy Johnson or whoever it is, as they get older, if they were in that rankings originally, it doesn't mean that they're going to always stay in the rankings. Maybe we missed on a guy and he's not as good as we thought. And the velo, maybe he had some injuries and the velo, goes down and it never comes back. And maybe he doesn't need to be in the rankings. Maybe we missed. That does happen. But a lot of the times, it's guys that continue to steadily get better or, stay similar to who they are. And we have internal grade scales that we put on players and a grade and a number that we put on guys. But for this argument, let's just say we use, the Madden rating. And let's say we had an 88 on a guy, when he's a freshman. Well, as he gets older, we see more and more players in that grad class. So let's call it the 2032 class. When they're freshmen, we don't see a lot of them. We see a couple of them, whether it's at tournaments, events, whatever. We feel really good about a select few. We rank them. Then as we see more players in that 2032 class, that kid that has an 88, it hasn't changed. We still have an 88 grade on that guy. But the next time the rankings come out, we have seen, let's just call it 200 more players. And maybe 8 of those guys come in with a better grade that we've put on them than that 88 that guy has. So those 8 guys need to be slotted above that kid that has that grade or that rating of an 88. So naturally, when we go to update the rankings are going to expand. There's going to be more players in the rankings, and there's going to be a lot of more players that we've gotten eyes on. And even guys that maybe we'd seen in the past that had gotten better, or guys that we've just had to, we've collected more in-game at-bats on, and their grades have changed. And maybe they need to be higher than that guy. So that guy that was originally sitting at 18 in that ranking, well, guess what? Now there's guys with better grades. Hey, now that guy that was at 18, all of a sudden he's ranked 25th in the state because there's 7 guys that, had to get in ahead of him. So technically he looks at it and is thinking, why am I down at 25th? I was at 18. He feels like he's dropping, and it's in our eyes, that player has stayed the exact same. We are just seeing more players, and it gets even more and more and more as the guys get older. And when they're juniors, seniors, that's when we're getting the crux of all of our looks at these guys because they're playing high school baseball. Yes, there's a select few that play as sophomores, as freshmen, but the numbers are a lot less than the juniors and seniors you see on a varsity roster. And then also just all the tournaments we run as well. We're running more 17U, 16U stuff than we are 13 and 14U stuff.
I would say much more often than not is that the case. Like, hardly ever are we like, ooh, this guy needs to drop, right? Like, I'd say a lot less often than just like the kid just naturally falling. Like, I'm looking at the rankings right now, and I'm gonna need like multiple hands to find guys. Like, I'm counting. Like, there's a ton of guys that I liked that I thought could rise, but they're actually falling because there were just more guys that showed better or like made a bigger jump. And that's just how it goes when you try to extend these rankings to, to what are we at, 275 now? So like that's just how the kind of the name of the game. Like, I think we've used this analogy in the past. It's like if you're number one in the class at a small school, grade-wise, and then you go to a bigger school, you're probably not going to be number one. You're probably going to be down the list because there's just more kids now that you have to, go up against. And that's just how it goes, yeah.
There's probably plenty of kids who didn't see their name get ranked when we did this latest update. And, like, it's not the end-all, be-all to any parents or players listening. Like, maybe your son isn't ranked. Maybe you're a player listening and you aren't ranked. Like, I wasn't ranked. I went on to play college ball. Gavin, I don't think you were ranked off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, you went on to play college ball. Hammett, was ranked, went on to play college ball, but like it's not the end all be all. Like these colleges, they will find you if you are good. So I just want to put that out there. Like it's not some death sentence that means, hey, you're not good enough to go play college ball, because that's really not the case. We only rank so many guys, but there's others we could have ranked. We could have made a case for a few other guys to get in. Maybe when we do our final update next May or whatever it is, like there might be 300 plus kids in there. So just want to say that, because it's not, it doesn't mean your son is not good enough to go play in college. It's not the case at all.